The 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness has premiered. 10 hunter masters were sent to the African desert. This is the first time this season that we have left the frigid Arctic. The danger faced here is far more terrifying than that of black bears. It has countless wild animals. The 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness is also the most brutal season in history. But the big shots just went wild. On the first day, I had grilled fish as a late-night snack. The next day, they hunted the Jewish pigs. Fragrant roasted pork. Is this still here to survive in the wilderness? On the second day of the Star of Survival in Africa, I had grilled pork. Can you imagine? The big shots in the 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness are really amazing. The first day of the game, all the contestants set off in the morning. 10 survival experts were thrown and left at the end of the world. There are no teammates around. There's no film crew. There's only one handheld camera and nature that could be fatal at any moment. This is the 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness. The challengers have to be the one who survives the longest in the desert wilderness of South Africa. A prize of $500,000 will be won. But the start of this season has been far more perilous than ever before. They have to face countless African wild animals. Animals that are easy to catch are usually poisonous. Non-poisonous animals are usually very fierce. There are no delicious berries or blueberries here. There are only countless thorns and poisonous fruits. It is now the winter season in Africa. The highest temperature during the day can reach up to 80 degrees. The temperature will drop rapidly to freezing point at night. The contestants have to endure the torment of extreme contrasts every day. The helicopter was hovering in the air. The animals underground are running. In this wilderness, humans and animals are evenly split. Either people eat animals. Either animals eat people. All the contestants are ready. The first contestant is Will. There is a very large lake where he is, but the gap seems quite large. Here he felt a little excited. There are a lot of stones on the ground. It is rather difficult to walk. The first thing that came to his mind was to find a suitable location to build a shelter. Will's occupation is an animal researcher. The main focus is on the study of animals in the African and Australian regions. These animals are also very common in Africa. Will understands them. It has a great advantage over this challenge. He is also a wilderness survival enthusiast. Hunting ability and the ability to build shelters are both within easy reach. He came to shore to fetch water. When fetching water, deliberately seal the mouth of the iron pot with gauze. This is very crucial. The water sources in Africa usually attract a large number of animals to drink. The amount of feces and bacteria in the water is beyond your imagination. When drawing water, simply filter it before boiling. This might be much safer. Perhaps everyone in Africa thinks that water is very important, but fire is more important than water. Water must be boiled in fire before it can be drunk. Fire is not only used for cooking food. It can also drive away wild beasts. You can survive for 2 days in Africa without water. But without fire, you might not see the sun of tomorrow. The first thing Will did here was to make a fire and boil water. It takes a little time to boil water. He is not in a hurry to build a shelter. While there's still plenty of time, he decided to try fishing. The area on the side of Kelsey has a shallow beach. Looking at the surrounding environment, it seems relatively flat. She was immediately planning what she should do next. The first step is to explore the surrounding environment. By the way, see if there is a suitable location to build a shelter. Kelsey saw many animal footprints on the ground. If you look closely, you can see that it is something similar to a human footprint. This should be what the baboon left behind. The baboon in the wild is like a crazy ruffian. We mustn't anger them. Kelsey has long lived in the wild, have rich hunting experience. I caught a tanuki. I've caught big fish. I also make a water filter at home in my spare time. She runs a horse training ground. The $500,000 reward for living alone in the wilderness is very important to her. Kelsey heard the cries of baboons here. They're just on the ridge on the opposite bank. I've angered them. Throwing stones at you and spitting at you is a minor matter. It's disgraceful to laugh at you with your butt. Baboons have an extremely strong sense of territory. Kelsey left here quickly. The feces of animals on the ground can be seen everywhere. There are probably about 50 or 60 baboons here. But Kelsey only had 10 arrows. If a war really breaks out, Kelsey might be torn apart by the Japanese by baboons. He just shouted a few times at the baboon, so I returned to the foot of the mountain. Kelsey decided to build a shelter under a thorn tree. I had thought Kelsey's position was already quite flat. I never expected that Pablo's position would be even flatter. Pablo was very satisfied with this position. The quality of the geographical location. It can affect a player's winning rate by 30%. The temperature during the day is very high. Pablo must find a suitable position as soon as possible. His occupation is a wilderness survival trainer, possessing rich experience in hunting and survival, skilled at making all kinds of hunting traps. It's obvious that he is a master at wilderness survival. Pablo came to the shore to observe. I found that the water source here is very dirty. It must be filtered and boiled before drinking. Pablo plans to dig a pit on the shore. the water in the lake can seep into the pit. It plays a certain filtering role. This idea is good. Let's take a look at Git's side again. He is equally satisfied with his position. There's a large water source at each contestant's position. Theoretically, they don't have to worry about water sources. Jit discovered a group of baboons on the mountain peak behind the mountain. Fortunately, the distance is quite far. Don't worry about them causing trouble for the time being. Jit is a wilderness survival enthusiast. I have traveled to many places, have rich experience in outdoor hiking. I have also made hunting traps by myself. If one is lucky enough, I believe he can enjoy delicious food and drink in Africa. He hopes to win a $500,000 bonus, then buy a piece of land to build a house. Jit came to the shore to observe. The shore here is all covered with stones, although it's impossible to dig a hole for filtering like Pablo did. But fishing at these spots should be quite good. He saw a mantis on the ground. Isn't the bait for fishing already there? Git's first plan turned out to be fishing. It seems that none of the players are in a hurry to build shelters this season. Aren't you afraid of wild animals at night? Jit kept throwing out baits. Suddenly, he took off his pants in front of the camera. This guy can't be thinking of defecating, can it? It turned out that the fish hook was stuck at the bottom. There are many stones here. It seems that fishing is not as simple as imagined. The next plan is to boil water and drink it first. Jit also put a cactus over the fire to roast. Cacti are rich in minerals. You can eat when you are hungry. Did the contestants have no appetite on the first day? It might be because I'm not hungry yet, but he felt that this roasted cactus tasted very good. Looking at the tiny flame on his fire, could you bring this pot of water to a boil? Pablo has already set up a shelter here. This is the simplest temporary shelter I have ever seen, and it's even covered with a white cloth. A temporary shelter has also been built on Jit's side. This one of his looks a bit normal. Git felt that this position was very good. Then, try to improve this place and turn the temporary shelter into a permanent one. Katie is sitting here drinking water. It seems that there is no plan to build a shelter. She saw fish diving into the water. This aroused her desire to fish. There aren't any stones in her position. It should be very good for fishing. Kelsey sat here and saw the moon appear. It wasn't long dark in Africa when I saw the big moon, but it seems that none of the contestants want to waste time building shelters. It's around 8 p.m. Pablo couldn't sleep at all. He heard a lot of animal sounds. It's quite normal not to get used to the new environment on the first night. Kelsey is still having a late-night snack. Roasted cactus is her dinner today. She heard many hyenas barking. Well, dares not sleep soundly. Keep adding firewood. At 11 p.m., Katie finally caught a fish. She is dealing with fish on the shore, then put it over the fire to roast. These big shots are really amazing. I successfully got meat on the first day of the game. And can you stand having grilled fish as a midnight snack? It was the second day. Katie picked acacia seeds here early in the morning. She wants to use it to make fish soup. This Annie is really powerful. I had a late-night snack on the first day. The next morning, fish soup was stewed for breakfast again. Katie is a wilderness survival teacher. She often takes her students to cook in the wild, possessing rich skills in identifying plants, proficient in all kinds of wilderness survival knowledge. You just need your hands to make hunting traps. It's obvious that this lady is extremely capable. The contestants of the American version of Living Alone in the Wilderness have never let us down. When she was picking leaves here, suddenly, I smelled the scent of animals. Then he approached with a bow and arrow. It turned out to be a wild boar that appeared here. It's a pity that he ran away when he dared to approach. Katie thinks this is a path for beasts. It means that animals often walk on this road. The footprints on the ground are sufficient proof of all this. We woke up early in the morning and saw baboons standing on the distant hilltop. He howled loudly at these baboons. Facing such an aggressive animal, isn't Will afraid that the baboons will throw stones at him? Will is exploring nearby. Although my job is related to animals, but I have never come into contact with baboons myself. It's better to be cautious. He didn't want to leave the camp too far. There are a large number of animals here. He saw a large herd of wildebeest ahead. The oryx is very aggressive. It usually attacks humans. Will also found a big bull nearby. It's really astonishing to look at it up close, but soon detected something abnormal and left. If a large prey can be hunted, it's really time to just lie flat in the early stage. This kind of bullhorn kudu, he is as tall as 5 feet. The weight can reach 700 pounds. It's not a problem to make a cow and a dried meat and eat it for a month. It all depends on whether Will has the ability or not. Pablo came to the shore early in the morning to fetch water. He found that the pit he had dug yesterday was submerged in water. This should have some relation to the tides. The water here is dirty. It's hard to swallow without filtration. The safest way to handle it is to filter it first and then boil it. Pablo decided to filter with a headscarf. He wrapped the iron pot with a headscarf, then let the water seep in slowly. Then a pot of seemingly clean water was obtained. It still needs to be boiled before drinking. The daytime in Africa is extremely hot. If a person is dehydrated for 24 hours, the organs will then start to fail. In fact, they could have used charcoal as a filter completely. This will be cleaner than filtering directly with a headscarf. Pablo drinks 2 pots of water every day. If you're full even after drinking water, how could you still have the mood to hunt? Kelsey felt very comfortable when he woke up. She actually did push-ups here. Is this because of excessive physical strength? Could you please stop all this fancy stuff? If you have the ability, just go hunting directly. However, the first thing she did after getting up was really to go hunting. She went out to explore with a bow and arrow in hand. I saw very fresh feces on the road. This means there is prey nearby. She saw a gazelle in the distance. It's a pity that it's too far away. One's own bow and arrow simply couldn't shoot that far. She could only helplessly watch the antelope walk further and further away. Suddenly, she heard the sounds of animals, but I didn't see where it was. This must not be touched. It's easy to alert the snake. Soon a Jewish pig appeared here. Kelsey decided to follow slowly and hunt the Jewish pig. She slowly took down her bow and arrow, draw the bow, and shoot directly. Oh my goodness. She actually managed to hunt a Jewish pig successfully. Kelsey was so nervous that his legs were shaking. When you get closer, add another arrow. This Jewish pig is still alive, but it definitely won't survive. The contestants of this season are really too strong. On the second day of the game, a medium-sized prey was hunted. It was the female contestant who had her first meat meal yesterday. It was also a female player who hunted the Yao pig today. 2 female players took off directly at the beginning of this season. A pig weighing over 100 pounds is right in front of us. Kelsey's ability is far better than I imagined. This pig can eat for at least 10 days. The temperature at noon in Africa is very high. The pork must be disposed of as soon as possible. It's about half a mile from here to the shelter. In a hot environment, bacteria double every 20 minutes. Next, Kelsey had to consider how to deal with this Jewish pig. The pig is very large in size. She can't lift it by herself. It can't be put in a bag either. She tried to recite again, but still not working. There's only one choice left for her. That is to cut up this pig on the spot. This is a great test of the contestant's slaughtering ability. After Kelsey took off the pig's leg, just carry the remaining part and leave. Although not everything was fully utilized, but it was also a choice made out of necessity. In such an environment, it's already very difficult to handle the meat well. Kelsey set up a barbecue grill beside the fire. She plans to dry the meat. Bacteria reproduce at an extremely fast rate. She cut off a piece of meat for dinner today. All the remaining meat was dried. This is a race against time, until after 4 p.m. It hasn't been dealt with yet. This was far more difficult than she had imagined. The grilled meat that has been cut out is ready to eat. She decided to eat her fill first. The second day of the game, then I had roast pork. I didn't remember I had brought salt until I was halfway through eating. It tastes better when sprinkled with some salt. Kelsey currently has a very significant advantage. Roast pork can at least keep her from going hungry for 10 days. There are a great many animals here. Even though a large part of the food is wasted every time we hunt, she doesn't even have to worry about not having meat to eat. It was the third day. Jit woke up and began to feel hungry. He decided to try fishing. If one can catch a fish, then fish meat can be used as bait for hunting. He came to the shore and rummaged for stones. Try catching some crabs, but nothing was caught. Suddenly, he put the camera on the ground. Then walk aside. I have no idea at all what he is doing. It was a long time before I picked up the camera. Jit experienced severe pain in his stomach. He didn't know it was a problem with the water source. It's still the issue with the cactus I ate yesterday. Anyway, I'm feeling really bad right now. It's only the third day now. Did you have health problems so soon? In the evening, Jit experienced severe vomiting. Then severe diarrhea occurred again. This is both diarrhea and vomiting. It is very easy to cause dehydration. At 11 p.m., he felt unwell and couldn't sleep. My body aches all over and feels cold. It's very likely that dehydration has begun. He took a small sip of water. The body has temporarily received some relief. It was the fourth day. Jit's symptoms haven't improved. Now he can't vomit anything even if he wants to. It's very likely a problem with the water source. My stomach is really hurting terribly. He dialed the phone number of the program team. He informed the program team of the situation. Because I drank unclean water, it caused me to vomit all night. Ultimately, due to health reasons, I chose to withdraw from the competition. On the first day of the game, I just said his fire was so small. It's very difficult to boil water. I never expected that I would really get infected because of the water source issue. The doctor gave him medicine to take. Perhaps the program team doesn't want him to withdraw from the competition so soon either. But there's no way. He still chose to withdraw from the competition. What surprises will the contestants bring us next? Look forward to the update of the next video episode. This is the true hunting master of living alone in the wilderness. Because he caught a grasshopper, used this grasshopper to go fishing. A big bass was caught in just 1 hour. If you think the sea bass is not delicious, then you can also catch a big catfish at night. Use it to stew a pot of fish head soup until you throw up. 4 days before the start, 5 big shots have already made their appearance. Some people have already faced severe tests. In just 4 days, the water source pathogen successfully defeated the first elder brother. but there are also people who go against the wind. She managed to hunt down a Jewish pig with just one arrow. At the beginning, if you eat spicy strips or grouse, I won't say anything to you. But at the beginning, you directly hunt a medium-sized prey, such as a pig. That's simply a luxury. This episode features the appearances of the remaining 5 contestants. The 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness makes its first trip to Africa for a challenge. Although there are no black bear attacks here, but sacrificing one black bear brings in thousands upon thousands of wild animals. The contestant felt scared as soon as he got off the ground. Shouting into the helicopter, he regretted going home. This guy who's shouting to go home is Baha. His position is very flat. Unlike other contestants who have stones all over the ground, Haba is a veteran, have rich experience in wilderness survival. The hunting experience is also first class. Archery is always accurate, skilled at making all kinds of traps. Living in the wild frequently can temper one's will. Baha came to live alone in the wilderness precisely for that $500,000. Although what was said was all nonsense, but he is very honest. With this sum of money, he can improve his family life. It can be seen that Baha is a powerful player. The first thing Baha needs to do is to assess the site. He needs to judge the direction here to customize his survival strategy. It is very hot during the day in Africa. The temperature is cold at night. Baha judged east, south, west, and north by the direction of the shadow. Knowing the direction plays a certain role in building a shelter. There happens to be a big mountain to the east. This means he will have to face a longer period of cold. So he decided to go to a place facing the sun and backed by a mountain. This location is good, but quite far. However, the advantage is that you can get more sunlight in the morning. He immediately set off for the new destination. There are many stones along the shore. It's very easy to slip and fall on this kind of road. If you're not careful, you might very well fail and be carried home. Nathan was lying on the grass, not eating it. He saw a grasshopper. I want to catch grasshoppers for fishing. It is indeed wise to make reasonable use of bait for fishing. He managed to catch a grasshopper. Nathan's first plan was fishing. More and more contestants have realized that food is the foundation of survival. Building a shelter at the beginning will only wear you out. Nathan has excellent hunting skills. Fish can also be caught with a bow and arrow. His father was Dean Olson, a leper. A book on outdoor survival skills was once published. This book was selling well throughout the country at that time. So his father became famous because of this. And Nathan also learned a lot of relevant knowledge from his father. Theoretically, Nathan's survival skills would also be very strong. Nathan's younger brother, Luke, once participated in the 10th season of Alone in the Wild, although not winning the championship. But there's also a very good display. Nathan is living alone in the wilderness this time. It's mainly to prove oneself. Nathan noticed that there was a lot of grass here. He decided to collect them to make mattresses. This pile of long grass. It's enough to cover a comfortable mattress. Nathan spread the hay evenly on the ground. Although it is very hot during the day in Africa, but it will be very cold at night. These hay can insulate the ground and provide warmth. It wasn't long before he made a bed. It's soft and comfortable to lie on. There's also a very strong smell of grass. It smells so suffocating that one can fall asleep quickly. He came to shore to check the fishing line. I never expected that the grasshopper bait would work so well. Nathan caught a bass. I caught a fish on the first day of the game. Nathan is the player who got food the fastest this season. We walked for several hours. Baha finally arrived at his destination. There is a lump of cow dung on the ground. He guessed that it was left by African buffaloes. African buffaloes are extremely aggressive, but if one can hunt a cow, then there won't be any worries about food and drink this season. There are a lot of stones in this area. One must walk very carefully. There are few green plants in Africa. Most of the green plants that can be seen are thorny. This place gives the impression of telling us to keep away from strangers. Baha had a hard time finding a suitable place for it. It's flat here, and there are few stones. He saw a fallen thorn tree. Baha cut a section from it as a bow drill. If I'm not mistaken, Haba didn't bring a lighter. That's why hand bows are made to drill wood for fire. It's quite normal for big shots to have the strength. But in the face of a $500,000 reward, are you really willing to waste so much energy making a fire? It wasn't long before he had made a drill bow. Drilling wood to make fire is the most physically demanding method, and the success rate is extremely low. During the use of Baha, there have been consecutive mistakes. The path I chose, I will walk it to the end, even on my knees. It's been several hours without success. The absence of fire means that he cannot boil water. The sun is going down. Baha has to start tidying up the shelter. Making a fire has already consumed a great deal of his energy. There was no fire and no shelter on the first night. Now I really regret it. Baha is expected to be the first to withdraw from the competition. It was past 7 p.m. Colton made his first appearance. He caught a big catfish, but the camera hasn't been turned on today. I missed many wonderful scenes. The big shots in this season are really strong. Hunting for food on the first day of the game is really not easy. Colton cut the fish into strips and hung them on the tree. This can quickly dehydrate and dry the fish meat. This fish meat is enough for him to eat for several days. Cole suddenly became a carpenter. Not only does she have excellent hands-on ability, he also has excellent hunting skills. Bow and arrow hunting is very accurate. As long as the prey appears, it can basically be hunted down. Colton's strength is obvious to all. If one is lucky enough, I believe he can achieve the freedom of barbecuing in this wilderness of Africa. After all, these hunting achievements are no exaggeration. I feel that Colton is very likely to be the champion of this season. It was the second day. I slept very well last night. The bright breakfast seemed very pleasant. He started working immediately after getting up. It is very necessary to explore the surrounding environment. I haven't started eating the catfish from yesterday yet. I'm thinking about hunting again today. He saw 2 impalas in the distance. It's about 200 meters away, but the vigilance was too high. It was discovered before I could even get close. Nathan woke up early in the morning and went hunting too. He grabbed a handful of sand and mud, determined the wind direction by the trajectory of the sediment falling, then choose the hunting direction according to the wind direction. Just now, Colton was affected by the wind direction and smell, discovered by a black-spotted antelope 200 meters away. So the direction of the wind is very important when hunting. He saw a lump of animal feces on the ground. This should have been left by a moose. He soon discovered a group of deer here, but there was also a black bull beside it. The 3 are in opposition. Nathan didn't dare to act rashly. The animals here are always on high alert. Even a fart could scare them away. Antelopes can be seen everywhere here. The temperature is very high now. The meat will rot very quickly, so it might be better to hunt in the evening. Baja continued to choose to make a fire today. He picked up 2 pieces of antelope droppings on the ground. These dried feces can be used to make firewool. I didn't bring a lighter. Making a fire, boiling water, and cooking all became his difficulties. If there is no more fire today, Baja would then choose to withdraw from the competition. This is also the ending I least want to see. This monkey is waiting not far away to see a joke. Cheer up, hey. Come to participate in the wilderness living alone for a $500,000 reward. It's not for pretending to be 13. The fire caused by drilling wood is a great test to the materials, whether the materials are selected correctly or not. All of them require a great deal of physical strength. Baja is constantly making efforts to try. Finally, I saw some hope. As long as there are cigarettes, success can be achieved. Baja is the most exhausted player at the start of this season. On the first day, walk for a few hours to choose a new destination. It took another 2 days to make a fire. It seems that the cost of pretending to be 13 is a bit high. With fire, water can be boiled. It took Baja 2 days to get back on track. He has been waiting for this pot of water for too long. I feel full even after drinking. North Carolina set up a shelter on the first day. He was the first contestant to set up a camp. North Carolina found large animals looking at him on the mountain. He doesn't know what kind of animal this is. Anyway, it looks quite creepy. It should be a zebra, right? Hi, zebra. Shall we learn English together next? North Carolina has decided to start exploring nearby. Big shots are always thinking about hunting. Only a vegetable chicken would choose to fish to survive. North Carolina is very good at hunting. He is also very skilled with his hands. I always like to make some weapons at home. Hunting traps are also made. He is a genuine all-round player. North Carolina saw a small stream here. There's still a crab in the water. Such a tiny crab. Can't we just catch them directly? Why use bows and arrows to deal with it? Although the crab doesn't have much meat, but when roasted, it smells very fragrant. There's more than one crab here. It seems that catching crabs can also lead to a good meal. North Carolina put the crabs into the iron pot. Then some purslane and water buffalo thorn leaves were added. What on earth is this pot? The food in North Carolina is very delicious. There is meat and green vegetables. The contestants of this season all pay great attention to food. They won't wait until they are starving to look for food. It was the 3rd day. Baja woke up early in the morning and explored nearby. He found a spot. I want to build a shelter here. I have been here for 3 days. I haven't had a single meal. Baja's progress is very slow. He began to collect wood to build a shelter. North Carolina merely surrounded a camp with thorns. Does Baja really want to build a traditional shelter? The water and electricity last night were just like a waterproof cloth. Baja made a tripod out of wood. His plan to lay a tarpaulin on top. A shelter was thus completed. Such shelters are very suitable for the African wilderness. I also feel safe when I sleep. Colton was woken up by a group of baboons in the morning. They might have gone down the mountain to drink water, but Colton wasn't afraid of them because baboons can be hunted in Africa. There are still many catfish jerky in the Colton shelter, but he was not content with this. He's going to try hunting for more food. So far, I haven't seen a single soy sauce player. All the contestants are very enthusiastic about hunting for food. Colton saw a water deer here. His sudden appearance gave him a fright. As long as you have the ability in this wild African land, then you can enjoy the freedom of barbecuing. I guess the players will break the survival time record this season. Colton was having catfish head soup at the shelter. This took me very by surprise. Eat fish heads when there is no shortage of food. It's really rare, unlike some contestants in previous seasons who threw away the fish heads after catching them. The fish head is stewed in an iron pot. Colton sharpened a spoon from wood. Capable players do things differently. The fish head soup is ready. He took a bite with a spoon. The catfish head soup is rich in catfish. Colton thought it was the fat from the fish head. In the end, if I couldn't eat any more, I just threw it away. This inning took me by surprise. Doug is exploring nearby. He is very interested in the environment here. It's just like coming to an archaeological site. There are a lot of obsidian here. It is very suitable for grinding to make axes or knives. Doug has rich experience in primitive life. He is also very good at making primitive tools. As a survival coach, his hands-on ability is very good. Doug is best at making darts. It can be done even with eyes closed. But are these darts suitable for hunting wild animals in Africa? He found a lot of wood. It is placed diagonally on a tree. Make ingenious use of this big tree as a supporting structure. Are there no requirements for shelters in Africa? Unlike previous seasons, it doesn't have to withstand blizzards. Doug suddenly heard the sounds of animals. He doesn't know what kind of animal it is, but the roar it made was quite terrifying. He took the camera to check. Why not go hunting with bows and arrows? Doug's actions left me puzzled. A day has passed without achieving anything. In the evening, he heard the sounds of animals again, but it was pitch dark nearby, and I couldn't see clearly. A rhinoceros is nearby. It was the fourth day. Doug woke up early in the morning and teased. Last night, he heard a big thing moving around. Rhinos are more terrifying than black bears in Africa. But Doug wasn't afraid. He picked up his bow and arrow and began to search for prey nearby. I saw many animal footprints nearby. In fact, there are prey everywhere here. As long as you are patient, you will surely be able to hunt for food. Colton woke up early in the morning and made a joke. His hammock fell down last night, so I could only lie on the ground and sleep. Today, he plans to build a permanent shelter here. There are very few resources here. Not a single decent tree can be seen. There are all some bushes, so it's a bit difficult to build a shelter. There's a lot of wood here, but they're all thorny trees. Colton decided to build a shelter here. Fortunately, not much material is needed. Just make any stand and cover it with a waterproof cloth. The dried catfish meat has never been eaten, but he felt a wave of nausea. It might be caused by that pot of catfish head soup. Colton is feeling like vomiting all the time now. It's very likely that he has contracted a water source problem like JIT. The symptoms are all nausea and the urge to vomit. Colton sat on the ground, recalling everything he had done over the past few days. He caught a fish, but he wasn't happy about it. Everything he does here feels meaningless. So he chose to withdraw from the competition. I'm really speechless to death. I have to quit the competition and go home at the very beginning. Moreover, the reason for withdrawing from the competition is extremely strange. His analysis was that there was a bit of depression here. Facing such a player, just fine him $500,000 directly. What other surprises will the contestants bring us next? Looking forward to the update of the next video episode. This should be the most difficult survival in the wilderness, right? Can't find food to eat. Just string the cacti and roast them. It tastes very fragrant and delicious when eaten. Little did I know that I was carried away by the program team that night. He is also the only one in history who did not call to withdraw from the competition. The contestants who were carried away by the program team after they noticed something was amiss. What on earth is going on here? It was the third day, at around 3 o'clock in the morning. Will got up and planned to go fishing. He used ultraviolet lamps to search for scorpions as bait. The temperature is high during the day. All fish will run to the deep water area to hide. Evening is the best time to catch catfish. It was past 6 o'clock. Will chose to change his fishing spot. It wasn't long before he appeared in front of the camera carrying a catfish. This catfish is not very big, but it was enough for Will to have a big meal. I didn't sleep for a whole night and ended up getting a catfish. This is his main source of protein and fat supplementation. Will strung the catfish together with a wooden stick. Fish meat is very fragrant when grilled. There are several pounds of fish heads just going to be wasted like this. Catfish is still very fragrant when grilled. If it is used to make soup for consumption, that whole pot of mucus is likely to make you vomit. When Will was tasting the fish, I didn't sense any fishy smell. After being hungry for 3 days, everything tastes good. Soon a piece of fish was eaten up. Kelsey was the player who had the most comfortable start. Now she doesn't need to worry about food at all. The water source is the biggest problem here. Kelsey plans to build a reservoir. A frog was found under the stone. Fortunately, Kelsey has a large amount of pork. I simply looked down upon this frog. She moved many stones from the shore. It is planned to build a water storage tank with these stones. Stack the stones in a circle. Then lay a tarpaulin on top. Pour in the boiled water. Take it whenever you want to drink. The sun is so big during the day in Africa. Aren't you afraid of being evaporated? I even suspect that he has no brain in his mind. Kelsey came to the shore with a plate of roast pork. Friends who have watched Animal Time all know. Aren't there many crocodiles along the water sources in Africa? But Kelsey only saw a duck here. There are really a lot of wild animals. It was the fourth day. Doug woke up in the morning feeling very good. His shelter was built under a big tree. He has been drinking water to satisfy his hunger for the past 4 days. Obtaining clean water sources in Africa is the most difficult. Doug found a withered agave plant here. He wants to transform this agave, take it back to the shelter, and burn it up. This can save the physical strength needed for felling. After waiting for several dozen minutes, the top of this tree was finally burned off. The next step is to transform this tree stump. This agave tree head looks just like a huge kettle. The inside of the tree stump is hollow. It is filled with water. It can last him for 2 days to drink. It wasn't long before a tequila container was ready. Will is exploring nearby. He saw a little bird in the tree. Try hunting this bird with stones. It's a pity that it didn't hit. Now Will wants to hunt a prey. But animals in Africa are highly vigilant. Usually, one is scared away before even getting close. He waited for passing prey under the scorching sun. A gazelle scurried over. Will bent down and walked slowly. But the antelope soon ran away again. There are many animals in Africa. It's a bit difficult to hunt them. Will felt extremely desperate. The script didn't follow his ideas at all. A whole morning was wasted. I gained nothing at all. The grilled catfish I had for breakfast today was in vain. Now Will's confidence in hunting has been questioned. He himself wasn't sure if he could hunt for food here. Kelsey is exploring everywhere. She picked up many antelope skulls. Today her plan is to build a shelter. The most common thing in Africa is shrubs. She made 2 support frames out of branches. Then place a crossbeam on the support frame. Can such a shelter be stable? She pressed an animal skull onto the tarpaulin. And it's also a white waterproof cloth. Such a shelter is like a funeral. She plans to use this shelter on rainy days. He found some more grass stalks and spread them on the ground. Can these grass stalks sleep comfortably? In the evening, many birds appear here. It looks very beautiful like a kingfisher. Looking at this scene, it's just like the National Geographic Live. Kelsey sat on the ground admiring the flock of birds. They live in caves. If the opening is sealed with a wooden board, catch them one by one. Would it be very fragrant to make a skewer of grilled bird? It was the 5th day. Pablo made a fishing device. He came to the shore to try fishing. The water here is relatively shallow. Pablo kept trying to throw the rod to recover, but it seems there's no effect at all. I have been standing in the water for more than 2 hours. Not a single fish was caught. No bait was placed. It would be strange if I could catch it. The fish and animal droppings in Africa could fill you up so much. I didn't catch any fish, so I could only boil water to drink. The temperature during the day in Africa is very high. Not drinking water can really turn a person into a mummy. Freshly boiled water. I accidentally spilled it on the ground again. Fortunately, it wasn't all scattered, although it doesn't rain in Africa. But the sun is very intense. Pablo planned to build a shelter to shelter from the sun. He began to dig a hole in the ground with a shovel. It is mainly used to fix the branches of the shelter. He collapsed from exhaustion as soon as he dug a hole. Work for 2 minutes and rest for 2 hours. Pablo always felt his throat very dry in the shade of the trees. I always have the feeling of wanting to drink water. The temperature here has seriously affected him. Going on like this is not a solution. It is necessary to change the survival strategy. A little over 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Pablo felt a little dizzy. This should be a symptom of dehydration. He came to the shore to bask in the sun. For a moment, I didn't know how to explain. Wasn't it said that the temperature was very high? Wasn't it said that I felt nauseous and dehydrated? How can I sit here basking in the sun? Finally, he came to a conclusion. That's time to go home. What's going on with living alone in the wilderness this season? It's only been 5 days since the start. 3 contestants have already withdrawn from the competition. There are only 10 high guys participating in the competition in total. At this rate, there was no one left in less than 20 days. With Pablo's withdrawal from the competition, there are still 7 players left on the field. Will is roasting cacti. Cactus should be the only wild vegetable they can find. The roasted cactus was put back into the pot to cook. Will also found a lot of beans. These are the beans of the silk tree, although not as delicious as soybeans, but can also be eaten. Will also added the beans to the iron pot and cooked them. In the end, I cooked a pot of something I don't know. As long as it is not toxic, it can be eaten. The taste is not very good, but it's not hard to swallow either. Anyway, I saw Will eating with great relish. Africa is not short of cacti at all. As long as he can eat it, it's no problem to have cactus for every meal here. At 10 p.m., Will was lying on the ground, looking very uncomfortable. He experienced severe vomiting. It's estimated that the cactus has been poisoned. There are many blood streaks in the vomit. Will had no idea at all what was going on. He now feels that something is seriously wrong. What can be done late at night now? He had no choice but to keep trying to sleep. At this moment, the program team was brightly lit. they noticed that something was wrong with the contestants. Set off immediately to check it out. The production team came to look for Will. It was found that he was no longer conscious. The doctor examined him. A large bag of medicine was injected into him in turn. It's very likely that Will got food poisoning. The doctor asked him if the cactus had been cooked before eating. It's theoretically cooked by both roasting and boiling, but Will still suffered from poisoning. His physical condition is now very dangerous. The doctor had no choice but to carry him away. If the doctor doesn't come tonight, I guess Will is very likely to pick up his box meal here tonight. It was fine during the day. It was actually carried away at night. Whether they can be saved after returning is still unknown. Is survival in the African wilderness really that difficult? It's only been 5 days. For players who have already withdrawn. The contestants who have already withdrawn from the competition will not go home so early. Instead, they continue to stay at the base camp of the program team. These people are all losers. It feels like coming here is a waste of spots. All the contestants who withdraw from the competition need to be examined by local doctors. Make sure you are in good health before going home. What other surprises will the contestants bring us next? Look forward to the update of the next video episode. The 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness has premiered. If you catch a scorpion in Africa, in addition to being baked and eaten, it can also be used as bait for fishing. These catfish weighing over 10 pounds will leave you overwhelmed. It can be directly stewed in an iron pot. A pot of stewed meat feast made me feel like I was flying. If you don't want to eat fish heads, you can also smash the fish head. It is used as bait to catch catfish. Would you like to take part in such a survival in the wilderness? It's the 6th day. Doug felt very cold when he got up in the morning. The temperature difference between day and night in Africa is very large. The daytime temperature can reach as high as 40 degrees. The temperature dropped to 5 degrees in the evening. Doug decided to improve his shelter. Otherwise, I would really freeze like a dog at night. He stuck grass and vines in the crevices of the shelter. As long as there is no air leakage when sleeping at night, when you fall asleep, you won't feel so cold. This approach, though, has little effect, but it's still better than doing nothing at all. Building a shelter requires a large amount of regrass. Doug has to make multiple round trips to collect materials. But for a sheltered and warm shelter, it's worth working a little harder. A shelter was soon built. I just don't know how it works. Dag boiled a pot of water in the shelter. He removed some decorative lines from the belt with a knife. It is prepared to be used as a prosthetic bait. Tie it to the fish hook with decorative lines. It is usually made into a bug or small fish. The production process is very simple, but it looks very appetizing. This bait is made very vividly. It looks very much like a bug. Dag was very satisfied with this bait. Next, I'm going to try out the effect of the bait. I hope the fish here will like it. Dag saw some animal bones on the ground. It looks very fresh. It should have been about a week since he died. Dag watched all this. In an instant, I felt that this African land had an air of danger. He came to the shore, ready to start fishing. After putting the bait into the water, the next step is for the fish to bite the hook while waiting. I never expected that he would actually catch a fish. Dag quickly withdrew the fishing line in his hand, but I didn't expect it to break free and leave me. This fish is quite big. If I could catch it, I would surely have a big meal. This fish greatly boosted Dag's confidence. He continued to try hook fishing, but this time it wasn't so lucky. I fished for 2 consecutive hours without any fish biting the hook. Dag had no choice but to give up. Not catching any fish means going hungry. He turned over a stone. Find a scorpion. Although scorpions are not large in size, but it's also a little protein. Dealing with scorpions is very simple. Just remove the poisonous needle at the tail. It tastes better when grilled. Dag returned to the shelter and made a fire. He had never tried a scorpion before. I don't know if the taste is good. He strung the scorpion on the branch. Bake it directly over the fire. The smell of grilled meat was soon detected. It would be even better if he could catch a few more and roast them to eat. Doug realized that fishing was not as simple as he had thought. Survival in the wild. Food sources must be diverse. The scorpions were roasted very soon. Put a whole one in your mouth to taste. The crispy texture is very good. It's as delicious as eating fried chicken. Dag also tasted the seafood. Just a few more would be fine. The camera turns to Baha's side. He plans to move house today. The water source is getting closer and closer to the shelter. Baha plans to move the shelter to a nearby shady area. He actually lifted the shelter and left directly. It was the first time I had seen such a lightweight shelter while living alone in the wilderness. The whole process takes less than a minute. He boiled a pot of water at the entrance of the shelter. Baha collected a lot of wood again. Every day, dozens of pounds would need to be burned to boil water for drinking. The water problem has been solved, but the problem of food has not been solved yet. Wild animals in Africa are highly vigilant. Hunting is rather difficult, so he plans to go fishing. But I didn't bring a fishing hook myself. On the 3rd day, he picked up an iron wire, and the iron wire was made into fish hooks. Baha made 2 simple fish hooks. Just put it directly in the water with the intention of fishing. If you read that right, no bait was placed. Where do you get the confidence to catch fish? If even this can catch fish, then I can catch fish even if I pee on it. If there are no unexpected circumstances, I haven't gained anything today. Baha could only drink water to satisfy his hunger. I really doubt that these people have no minds at all. Can't they think of catching a grasshopper to go fishing? Suddenly, there's a commotion by the water. In the blink of an eye, Baha came back carrying catfish, and it is extremely large in size. It seems to weigh about 5 or 6 pounds. This catfish is enough for him to eat for 2 days. Baha is dealing with fish. He cut the catfish in half, put all of them in an iron pot to stew. After being hungry all day, I can finally have a late-night snack. He cooked a large pot of fish soup. After cooking, drink the soup first and then eat the meat. The taste of the broth is very good. The meat of catfish is tender, delicious, and delicious. Protein and fat are equally important for survival in the wild. Lack of fat intake can make the brain less flexible. Baha was greedily tasting the fish. He waited for this protein feast for 6 days. Why not save some for breakfast tomorrow? It's the 7th day. Kate roasted cactus for breakfast early in the morning. She saw 9 water antelopes here. It's just on the opposite mountain peak. But she didn't choose to hunt water antelopes. Instead, try to go fishing, because hunting requires a great deal of energy. Kate wants to go fishing, have a full meal, and then go hunting. She came to the shore to try fishing. There is no bait either. She is fishing in Lua's way. Keep trying to throw the rod and then pull it back. This way of fishing has a very low success rate. It would be more practical to catch grasshoppers as bait. There are so many wild animals nearby. I just chose to go fishing. I fished here for several hours but caught nothing. It's simply a waste of time. When she was ready to go back, she saw a red-crowned egret nearby. It would be a huge gain if we could hunt the egrets. Kate approached slowly with a bow and arrow in her hand. Shoot directly from a distance of over 10 meters. But unfortunately, I didn't hit it. No fish have been caught now. Hunting won't do either. Kate didn't know what to do all of a sudden. On this hot African land, just drinking water every day is not a solution. To win the championship, one must eat meat. In the evening, she came to the shore again to fish. This time, she wasn't like she was during the day. Instead, they chose to wait for the fish to bite. If I'm not mistaken, I'm very likely to catch catfish, because Baha caught a catfish in the same way yesterday. The process of waiting is very boring, but one can see the beautiful sunset. It's the 8th day. Nathan has also been trying fishing, but there was still no gain. He rummaged through stones in search of scorpions as bait. It is more convenient to find scorpions than catch grasshoppers. The scorpions found can be used as bait. If you are very hungry, you can also roast it to eat. A scorpion is definitely a very good treasure. Catfish in Africa are very large. Nathan decided to reorganize the fishing line. The last time I went fishing, my line was torn off. This time he decided to fish with double-layered fishing lines. Wrap the 2 fishing lines together. Such thick fishing line. Don't even mention catching catfish. Even a water buffalo can be pulled up. Such a powerful fishing line. Nathan made 2 at once. This is quite extravagant. A fishing line is enough to pull a water buffalo. 2 fishing lines can be used as arresting cables for aircraft carriers. Nathan strung a large fish hook with fishing line. Just throw the fish hook into the water and leave it alone. Why do they all fish in this way? Can an empty hook really be used for fishing? Nathan wants to catch a mouse now. He believes that mice can attract catfish. It's very simple to catch mice in the wild. Just make a 4-character trap. Nathan chose a flat stone slab. Make a 4-character trap with wooden sticks. This kind of hunting trap looks very simple. It's actually not difficult at all. It's easy to understand at a glance and easy to do. After setting the trap, you want to check the fishing line again. Sure enough, a big catfish was caught. The contestant's analysis did not record the process. I don't know if he cheated, but this catfish is indeed very big. It's more than enough for him to eat for 2 days. It seems that scorpions catching catfish is effective. Nathan smashed the fish head with a stone. He wants to use fish heads as bait. Keep fishing for catfish. Catch catfish with a catfish head. Can catfish be eaten? A catfish that can eat such a big bait must be very big. The catfish just caught haven't started eating yet. He's fishing for catfish here again. I fished for a while but got nothing. He decided to leave the fish hook here and fish for another night. Perhaps the success rate would be much higher in this way. In the evening, he cooked a pot of catfish soup in the shelter. Add some more salt to season. This pot of catfish soup won't taste so fishy. Grease is very important for wilderness survival players. Nathan is reluctant to grill fish because he doesn't want to waste the oil. A pot of fish soup with fish meat will make you feel very full after eating. Fish meat also retains the most nutrients. Nathan is tasting the fish. The feeling of food going into the stomach again is very good. His next plan is still fishing. It's the 9th day. Kate went hunting early in the morning. There are a lot of animal droppings on the ground. It seems that this is a highway for animals. It might be better to go hunting at 4 or 5 in the morning. There was no harvest from the hunt today. She decided to build a shelter first before hunting. Kate cleared out an open space. Then take out the tarpaulin. she felt very cold last night. So it is necessary to build a shelter for the night. Kate plans to build a half-domed shelter. It should be like a yurt. She made an arc shape with branches. This kind of shelter is more complex than the conical one. Kate, on the fourth day, make many ropes from the inner bark of the silk tree. Now, these ropes have come into play. It is much more convenient to build a shelter. Shelters built with such branches have very low safety. But this is the African wilderness. There is no heavy snow and very little light rain. So the shelters built by the contestants were rather casual. It is now winter in Africa. The temperature difference between day and night is very large. None of the players brought sleeping bags this season. So shelters are particularly important. Kate found that the clouds in the sky had gathered here. It seems that a heavy rain is going to fall. So she must build up the shelter as soon as possible. Otherwise, what awaits her will be a merciless rainstorm. What surprises will the contestants bring us next? Look forward to the update of the next video episode. Do you know how difficult it is to survive in the African wilderness? The big shot used a tiny elephant shrew. I caught a big catfish weighing over 10 pounds. I originally thought it would be very difficult for them to get food. Unexpectedly, a heavy rainstorm made them realize a fear they had never experienced before. The contestants began to build shelters one after another. He directly chose to withdraw from the competition in order to save his life. But he lost his life in an attempt to build a shelter. He became the first person in the history of living alone in the wilderness to die while working. It's the 9th day. There are still 6 players left on the field. Nathan came to inspect the hunting traps. The trap has been triggered. It seems that the prey has been caught, but it wasn't a mouse. It was a flattened elephant shrew. Elephant shrews look very similar to mice. This is a rare protein, but Nathan wasn't going to eat it. Instead, it is used as bait to catch big catfish. It rarely rains in Africa. Nathan has no intention of wasting time in the shelter. Instead, focus on obtaining food. This elephant shrew might help Nathan catch catfish. While waiting, Nathan came to the shore to take a bath. He believes that personal hygiene is very important. Bathing has a positive effect on survival in the wild. So he brought 1 bar of soap among the 10 items. I felt very comfortable after taking a bath. Nathan decided to check the fishing rod. When he pulled up the fishing rod, he indeed caught a big catfish. This success rate is just too high. This catfish is very large in size. It should be around 10 pounds. It was definitely a huge gain for him. This catfish is a full meter long. If all of them are made into grilled fish, it should be able to last for 4 or 5 days. A little elephant shrew was exchanged for a big catfish. This rate of return is even higher than Bill Gates' stock trading. It's the 10th day. Kelsey is making fishing bait in the shelter. This is a false temptation full of appetite. A rubber band was also made into a rope for tying hair. Kelsey tied up her hair in a high ponytail. It looks very much like a first love. She likes this ponytail very much. Kelsey is currently the best performing player, although she didn't catch any big catfish. But Kelsey was the first player to hunt large prey. Have you ever seen a female player who eats a wild boar at the beginning of the game? Now Kelsey plans to go fishing. She also wants to catch a catfish to eat, but with a false lure. What does she use to attract catfish? Just when she felt desperate, a fish bit the hook. Is fishing really that simple? But it's not a catfish. It looks like a grass carp. Grass carp is more delicious than catfish. This fish is enough for Kelsey to eat for 2 days. Kelsey cut the fish meat and roasted it on a stone slab. The taste of fish meat is extremely fragrant. Is Kelsey going to finish it in 1 meal? The fish was soon cooked. She prepared a plate of fish for dinner today. The texture of fish meat is completely different from that of pork. It tastes extremely fragrant. I caught this fish today. It can bring Kelsey a great deal of confidence in survival. It's the 11th day. North Carolina became the boss of a publicly traded company in the shelter. There are a great many silk trees here. The liquid of the silk tree can be made into glue. Living here in North Carolina, it feels like all the glue in the world is produced by him. It turns out that people do daydream when they are hungry. I'm so hungry that I'm going crazy drinking water every day. North Carolina plans to go fishing. But first, you need to find the bait. There are the most scorpions under the stones in Africa. Catching scorpions for fishing is very suitable. North Carolina kicked away a stone with his foot. Right below is a little yellow scorpion. But scorpions are poisonous. One should not pick it up with one's hands at will. So he went back to the shelter to dig for earthworms with a shovel. Sometimes I really find it hard to understand the behaviors of these players. North Carolina came to the shore to fish. There are stones everywhere here. It seems that they haven't put any effort into it at all. It feels like he's just here to make up the numbers. After changing positions for more than 10 times. Finally, a pleasant surprise has arrived. North Carolina caught a fish, but a small catfish. This little New Year fish, more importantly, gave him hope for survival. Doug is also trying fishing. He picked up a wooden stick and transformed it into a fishing rod. A fake lure was also made. The cost of fishing in Africa can be said to be very low. Doug was trying to cast a fishing rod on the shore. Keep shaking the fishing rod in hand. Make the fake bait look like a fallen insect. This method is still effective for big fish, but fishing luck accounts for 50%. Doug's luck wasn't good today. He waited for several hours, but still didn't catch any fish. So I decided to give up, although this is Africa. But the wild in Africa is very cold. Doug decided to sleep in 3 pairs of socks tonight. As long as it doesn't rain, then there is no need to build a shelter. He was lying in the shelter before it got dark, ready to dream. Doug is very eager to catch a fish. This way, you won't be woken up by hunger at night. He would rather sleep and dream with his eyes open in the shelter. Nor am I willing to spend more time fishing. Don't you look for other food if you don't go fishing? Perhaps lying on the ground and talking to oneself can also make one feel full. It's the 12th day. Kelsey came to the shore with a tie of rope. Then a tripod was made. Sitting in the shelter every day make her feel very bored. So she has to find something to do to kill time. I have no idea what the purpose of her making these shelves is. Kelsey did several at once. There are 2 ducks in the water nearby. Could it be that Kelsey is making barbecue grills? Such a big grill is just for roasting 2 little ducks. She looked at the 2 wooden sticks in front of her. In fact, this is just a chair made by Kelsey. The middle is empty. It's very convenient to fertilize while sitting on it. Nathan found fresh animal footprints on the ground. An animal just passed by here. At this moment, the sky was overcast with dark clouds. It seems that it will rain heavily. But the vast majority of the contestants did not have shelters from the rain. Doug couldn't sleep either. Suddenly, ice grains began to fall from the sky. Doug has no idea what's going on. In Africa, it doesn't rain but ice drops fall. We'll be in trouble if we don't build a shelter. It's around 7 p.m. Thunder keeps rumbling in the sky. Doug is sitting here unable to sleep. Fortunately, Kelsey covered himself with tarpaulins as a shelter. There's no impact at all now. Baha also used tarpaulins as shelters. He doesn't have any influence either. It's past 11 p.m. Doug still can't sleep. He didn't expect it to rain. This rain disrupted everyone's plans. None of them expected that the rain would be so heavy. The rain soaked their belongings. Even with the tarpaulin covering it, the ground all turned into rivers. It seems that something is seriously wrong. Kelsey is very confused now. Don't know what to do. Now she is soaked through. There's no need to sleep tonight. Everything in Kelsey was wet. She is facing the worst moment since the start of the season. At around 1 o'clock in the morning, Kelsey hasn't slept at all. I just plan to sit there until dawn. This is not something that ordinary people can endure. Time seems to pass as if each day were a year. It's around 8 o'clock in the morning. Kelsey discovered traces of the nearby water flow. The chair made yesterday worked. Kelsey put the clothes on it to dry, but there is no sun now. I guess it won't dry. The entire shelter was taken apart by her to dry clothes. The heavy rain last night made her realize the importance of the shelter. So she plans to rebuild a shelter. This shelter is at a high place. There is no risk of being submerged when it rains. The sun came out at 11 a.m. As long as the sun comes out, wet clothes can be saved. Katie was also affected by the heavy rain last night. I spent the whole night maintaining the shelter. After a rain, the weather is starting to get colder. Katie thinks it's already winter here. I haven't seen this big sister many times since the beginning of the game. Don't you usually turn on your camera to record things? It's been over 10 days since the game started. Katie can be regarded as the return of a missing person. I know nothing about what has happened to her in the past 10 days or so. A very simple shelter was built. The 12th season of living alone in the wilderness lacks the joy of building a shelter. But it is winter in Africa now. The contestants had to improve their shelters. Katie built a windbreak wall with branches. Such a shelter is far worse than the wooden house shelters in previous seasons. However, due to regional differences, do they really not need to spend much energy on a shelter? It's the 14th day. It began to rain today. All the contestants are improving their shelters. It has completely changed from the Africa I had in mind. Doug has always lived under a big tree. As long as you haven't been caught in the rain, he doesn't even want to build a shelter. It's impossible to make a fire now either. The whole person is completely in a state of lying flat. He has no idea how long such weather will last. At this moment, he was very worried about his father in his heart. I'm already 70 years old. I'm actually worried about my own father. So Doug chose to withdraw from the competition and go home. I'm impressed by the contestants of this season. Have you done nothing here? I have to withdraw from the competition and go home before the shelter has even started to be built. Doug withdrew from the competition because he missed his family. I suggest that the program team disqualify such a contestant from the registration and impose a fine of several $100,000. Otherwise, they would have chosen to withdraw from the competition too easily. After Doug withdrew from the game, there are still 5 players left on the field. Just 15 days into the game, half of the players were gone. It was only in Season 12 of Living Alone in the Wilderness that I guessed it had crashed. He was stuck as the only old man on the field. But he caught catfish last night, and I ate fish. The bad weather makes the contestants reluctant to go out to work. After having a full meal, I was even less willing to work. lying in the shelter and doing talk shows. The shelter built was not as high as one's knees. Will the contestants of this season do it or not? North Carolina has already eaten 2 catfish. He is confident that he can check for a long time. He is planning to rebuild a shelter. Wood is in short supply in Africa, so he plans to build a shelter with stones. Building a shelter is a huge project. I wouldn't dare to do this without meat to eat. North Carolina has its own survival plan. Work in the morning and go fishing in the afternoon to get food. It didn't take long before it started to rain again. This really has a significant impact on the work progress. Suddenly, North Carolina fainted directly to the ground. Alas, we witnessed with our own eyes the death of a contestant. Contestant North Carolina died on May 23, 2024, while filming a wilderness living alone program. It's really very regrettable. This was the first time I witnessed the departure of a contestant directly. North Carolina became the champion of the 12th season of Wilderness Living Alone. I have never seen Wilderness Survival make such delicious grilled fish. Even the stones found it so delicious that they burst open. She removed all the spines from the fish meat. She ate this whole plate of fish so much that her tic disorder flared up. After eating, he licked the pot lid clean. It's the 14th day. North Carolina is building a brand new shelter. It's drizzling now. He plans to build a brand new shelter with stones. I've been so busy with work recently that I drink less water. Now he feels a headache. It should be caused by a water shortage. He fainted and fell to the ground. Fortunately, he fell in a very suitable position. This bush has no thorns, and there is also an equipment box blocking his way. So there's no harm at all. His current shelter is just a tent. It's simply impossible to live in if it rains heavily. He returned to the shelter and lay down to rest. As soon as it rains, all the contestants will lie in the shelter. Kelsey is no exception. She really wants to sit in the cinema, eating popcorn and watching a movie now. My mind is full of snacks. It seems that she is starving. At the beginning, I ate a pig. Are you hungry so soon now? Kelsey decided to get up and go hunting. The remaining pork was quickly eaten up. She wants to hunt the next prey as soon as possible. Kelsey hunted a giraffe here. If giraffes could be hunted, it should be able to last until the end of the season. She heard the sounds of animals here. Install the bow, an arrow immediately, and set it ready. Kelsey looked around in search of prey. A pig was right in the bushes ahead. Kelsey was just about to draw his bow and shoot, but the pig left. The wild animals here are highly vigilant. It's not easy to hunt them. North Carolina reviewed the photography records of the morning. He felt that he was really very lucky. If it's like this again next time, it's really impossible to save my life. So North Carolina chose to withdraw from the competition. He can't guarantee that he will be so lucky next time. Compare with a $500,000 bonus. Life is still more important. Another contestant chose to withdraw from the competition. Although this is Africa, but every contestant was near the water source. The requirements for the shelter are not high either. Why do so many contestants feel it's difficult? Isn't it much easier to survive here than in the Arctic Circle? Keep going like this. These players won't stay for long before the season ends. He left without even using the bows and arrows he brought. It's the 15th day. There are still 4 players left on the field. Nathan woke up early in the morning feeling very comfortable. It has been raining recently. The weather is neither hot nor cold. Nathan decided to continue building a permanent shelter. It is winter in Africa now. It will be rather cold at night, so a better shelter is still needed. Nathan decided to build a stone house with rocks. In the past season, I lived alone in the wilderness. Few contestants build stone shelters. Nathan is collecting stones on the shore. This is definitely a huge project. Moreover, moving stones is more arduous than moving wood. Nathan built it with a combination of stones and fine sand. Layer upon layer of stones and layer upon layer of sand. If the shelter could be built, it must be very comfortable to live there. Building a stone house is more complicated than building a wooden house. Nathan's construction process is just like 3D printing. I've been busy for several hours. The height it was erected was not even as high as the knees. The workload is huge, but the efficiency is very slow. Haba has been hunting outside all along. It rained a few days ago, and he lay in the shelter for 3 days. It's a fine day today. He needs to hurry up and start hunting. The ground was covered with animal footprints everywhere. Baha saw an antelope here, but the distance is very far. The mountain gazelles have already noticed Haba. Haba tried to approach slowly. The hunting range of the bow and arrow is 30 meters. When Haba approaches, can't be seen where the antelope is anymore. He is looking around. It is obvious that Haba has lost the hunting opportunity. No food was hunted today. Baha had no choice but to pick some buffalo thorn leaves for dinner. I suspect that these contestants have no brains in their minds. If you can't hunt, won't you go fishing? What's the point of survival by picking these leaves to eat every day? It's only been 15 days since the start. 6A guys withdrew from the competition. The entire video always shows these scenes to waste time. The production team really regarded us viewers as fools. Haba picked up the iron pot and was enjoying dinner. After finishing a pot, he still wanted to eat more. Nathan caught a scorpion. There are many of these scorpions in Africa. It is very useful for catching catfish. Nathan had previously caught big catfish with mice and scorpions. He came to the shore, hang the shoes on the fish hook. All that's left is to wait for the catfish to bite. He is very confident that he can catch catfish again. Today he plans to continue building the stone shelter. Carrying stones is extremely physically demanding. So Nathan is in urgent need of protein to replenish his energy now. If this stone shelter can be built, Nathan has set a record. The only athlete in history to build a stone shelter. Fortunately, there are a lot of such stones and sands in Africa, but such progress is still very slow. It's the 16th day. Kelsey is doing push-ups outside the shelter. I'm too full and full of energy. I really can't understand her behavior. Now she feels it's getting harder and harder to draw the bow. It might be due to physical weakness, but she still chose to keep hunting. Because I fished all day yesterday, but didn't catch any fish. If I don't hunt, I might really have to drink the northwest wind. What Kelsey most wants now is to hunt a Jewish pig again. She saw a wildebeest here. The wildebeest was also looking at her. The wildebeest is very excited. But Kelsey had no intention of hunting, because they can't hunt. I got nothing after going around in circles. She plans to go back and check the fishing rod. The contestants of this season are really bad. Kelsey returned to the shelter and put down his things. He came to the shore to check the fishing rod. The fishing line was pulled very straight. She has no idea what the reason is. It looks like a fish. The fishing line is right under this pile of grass. Kelsey caught a fish. She slowly tried to pull the fish out. A catfish was easily in hand, although not big in size. But this was the first catfish that Kelsey had caught. This is really exciting. I ate so much pork. Finally, I can have a meal of fish. Kelsey set up an oven. Roast the catfish meat directly on a stone slab. This catfish is her lunch and dinner today. The fish meat sizzled with oil on the stone slab. The fragrance gradually filled the entire Africa. Kelsey fried the fish until both sides were golden brown, when there are no unexpected circumstances. But an accident occurred. The stone slabs cracked due to the high temperature. Delicious fish meat fell to the ground. Kelsey was still standing by, recording with a camera and posting it on Moments. Such an attitude of not cherishing food. It should be that I'm not hungry enough. I really want to run over and crush the fish meat without giving it to her to eat. Kelsey picked up the fish on the ground. This unexpected incident today, she really didn't expect it. Although the fish meat fell to the ground. But it doesn't affect consumption at all. As long as you don't die after eating it, you can eat it. Kelsey removed all the spines from the fish meat. It feels so good to eat the fish spoonful by spoonful like this. Have a plate of fish as a meal. Kelsey involuntarily danced his body. You can tell how delicious it is just by looking at her expression. She ate the fish in big mouthfuls. In this vast grassland full of animals, she happened to catch a fish in the water. A plate of fish was quickly eaten up, and they licked the ground spotlessly clean. Not even a hint of smell is left behind. A little over 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Baha is taking a nap in the shelter. He had a nightmare. I dreamed of having a lot of hair. This is really a strange dream. The sun in Africa during the day is extremely hot. The contestants didn't dare to go hunting at all. On the 4th day, Haba used clay to make adobe bricks. He cut the adobe bricks into a stove. This is purely superfluous. There are many stones in Africa. There's also a lot of sand. Nathan can even build houses with stones and sand. But Baha insisted on making bricks out of clay. Then it can be used to cut the fire pit. Although the fire cutout looks very nice. It can also be used to make a barbecue grill. Baha was very satisfied with this fire pit. The wild in Africa is extremely cold. There's a fire pit that can keep you warm. In the dead of night, Baha stood in front of the fire and did not sleep. He is missing his family. What a useless player. Did you come here and do nothing? Then I began to miss my family. Look at him like this. It surely won't last for many episodes either. So, what other surprises will these exciting guys bring us next? Look forward to the update of the next video episode. This should be the most difficult survival in the wilderness, right? In the African wilderness teeming with animals. The contestants, however, were so hungry that they withdrew from the competition. But some big shots caught catfish weighing dozens of pounds. There's more grilled meat than you can finish. Some contestants also encountered giant tortoises on the road. This turtle is enough for you to eat until you win the season championship, right? It's the 17th day. Baja lit a fire to keep warm in the middle of the night. He didn't bring a fire stick, so keep the fire going all the time. Winter nights in Africa are extremely cold. None of the players in this season brought sleeping bags, so the contestants almost all relied on the fire to keep warm. The shelter is very shabby. No fire can be made in the shelters of all the contestants. Baja felt very cold in the shelter. This simply makes it impossible to sleep. After dawn, he didn't sleep at all last night. The daytime temperature in Africa can reach as high as 41 degrees. Baja is worrying about food. He doesn't know how to get food. Baja felt that hunting was too difficult. Every day, he goes hunting with a bow and arrow. But every time I couldn't hunt any food. I could tell at a glance that Baja hunting was not professional. It's best to go hunting before dawn for breakfast. And every time he would go hunting at noon. It's no use even if you see many animal footprints on the ground, because the prey had long gone into hiding. Haba saw a cave of a pig on the ground. Footprints of Jewish pigs can be found everywhere here. He clearly knew that the Jewish pig was right inside the cave entrance. But Baja just didn't go to catch him. He doesn't even know how to catch these Jewish pigs. What Baja called going out to hunt. Just wandering around outside with a bow and arrow in hand. Looking at him like this, he doesn't even seem to be in a hunting state. Such players are doomed to go hungry. Katie set up many stone traps. She saw several mountain gazelles here, but the distance is relatively far. Hunting is simply impossible with a bow and arrow. Katie knows that hunting is very difficult, so she decided to focus on fishing. She got a big lump of mud on the shore. However, this mud is not for fishing. She wants to perfect the roof of the shelter. Make a warm shelter. Katie covered the shelter with mud. This project involves a large amount of work, but the shelter built up will be very warm. The temperature difference in Africa is very large. It's so hot during the day that it's like a dog. I froze like a dog at night. Whether day or night, I'm a dog. Katie touched the mud bit by bit. It was completed very quickly. Kelsey saw an osprey on the shore. She wants to wait until the ospreys are hunting. Snatch the fish from the osprey. But I don't know how long I'll have to wait. So she decided to go hunting. But hunting is not simple. Every time I can see the mountain gazelles. But the distances are all very far. Kelsey's main target is the Jewish pig. She saw a huge pit here. This was formed when the pig cave was washed away by water. The pig has already moved away. There are many wildebeests, but they are hard to hunt. A day passed like this. It's the 18th day. Baja went hunting Jews today. He planned to drive the Yao pig out of the hole. It's probably just to smoke it out with thick smoke. Baja collected some hay, wrapped the charcoal with a piece of buffalo dung. Everything is ready. He took the things and headed for the entrance of the pig's cave. This kind of hunting method of waiting for opportunities to come by a stump is very common. Every hunt requires a long journey. Animal footprints can be seen everywhere on the ground. Theoretically, it belongs to many animals. In fact, not a single one was seen. Baja arrived at the location of the Cave of Judah, so made a big fire. Fire was the main weapon for this hunt. He chose a cave entrance. Just stuff a fire inside. This method is immoral. But in the wild in Africa, there is no need to be moral. There was no movement, even after the fire was burned out. He stuffed another fire into the other hole. I waited for over an hour again. There is still no response at all. Baja must have had wild boars in the cave. I have understood all the reasons for the failure. Even the fire of a handful of hay won't work. Why won't he increase the firepower? Baja decided to give up. He kept the fire going in the evening. I was so busy that I didn't stop until after 6 a.m. Not carrying a fire stick back then was a failed strategy. Now I stay up all night, every night, to keep the fire going. How long can he persist if he wants to go like this? Unable to hunt for food. Why not go fishing? These contestants are really so stupid. The most frequent thing he says is that hunting is too difficult. But I won't give up either. I'd rather watch the sunset here and talk to myself for a few hours. I don't want to go fishing with scorpions either. He sat at the entrance of a shelter, lost in thought, holding a satellite phone in hand. It seems that he wants to withdraw from the competition. Baja was doomed not to hold on any longer. He dialed the program team's phone number. Choose to officially withdraw from the competition. Baja's withdrawal from the competition was inevitable. He was the only player who didn't bring a fire stick, but he has to get up 7 or 8 times every night to keep the fire going. The contestants of this season are really not good at all. Almost all the contestants who withdrew from the competition did not hunt any food. In my opinion, he didn't try his best at all, because he has never tried fishing. Such contestants should be blacklisted and not allowed to participate in any programs. It's good to withdraw from the competition early. It's also a waste of time to stay here. With Baja's withdrawal from the competition, there are still 3 players left on the field. It's only been 19 days, and they have already entered the final round. Nathan eats these buffalo thorn leaves every day. There are quite a few fruits on it. He picked a lot of fruits to eat. Nathan didn't hunt any animals either, but at least he knew how to be flexible in looking for food. Moreover, he has always had the habit of fishing. But his luck in fishing has not been good recently. The reasons for the cold weather. There has never been a fish biting the hook. His shelter is not yet completed either. For survival, Nathan decided to try hunting first. Hunting depends more on luck than fishing. The wild animals here are too sensitive. Nathan was waiting for his prey to appear under the big tree. This is undoubtedly a time-wasting way of hunting. I waited for several hours, but still didn't see the prey appear. These players might not be professional hunters. They all go hunting at noon or in the afternoon. The hunting time was all chosen wrongly. Even if they spend more time, it will be in vain. Either go hunting at night, either go out before dawn in the morning. Nathan just sat here waiting for the whole afternoon. The result was nothing. He had no choice but to go back. At around 9 o'clock in the evening, Nathan decided to try fishing. Evening is the best time to catch catfish. Fishing is a little easier than hunting. While waiting, he began to miss his son. In previous seasons, the contestants would eat their fill before missing their families. The contestants of the 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness were missing their families from beginning to end. Nathan is telling us here. His son was involved in an accident. Finally, the drug overdose led to death. At this moment, only God knows how much he misses his son in his heart. He did come here indeed for the bonus, but it might also be to change the environment and miss the family. I saw the figure of hard work in Nathan. He caught scorpions as bait to catch catfish, and they built stone shelters. Just when he was feeling desperate, he picked up the fishing rod and found something was amiss. It turned out that he had caught a giant catfish. This catfish is very large in size. It should be the biggest catfish he has caught so far. Today is definitely a lucky day. It's the 20th day. Kelsey goes hunting every day. Her start was the best. But since the hunting of the Jewish pig, I have never hunted for food. She came to the shore to fish again. She didn't even notice a bird beside her. Such hunters are indeed not professional enough. She is now very eager to hunt a Jewish pig again. A Jewish pig can eat for 3 weeks. She didn't catch any fish and went hunting again. Time flies. It's past 2 o'clock now. This woman must have gone to take a nap. What's the point of such a player? I go hunting at this time every day. By the time the temperature reaches its peak, animals have already gone into hiding. Didn't they think of this? I go out for a walk every day. Then he kept talking back and forth in front of the camera. Does this state sound like hunting? As she was talking, she burst into tears. I'm really speechless about her. Living alone in the wilderness has always been very impressive. As a result, the score was directly pulled down by the contestants from the 12th season. I thought I had left the Arctic Circle to survive. The contestants will show everyone their most powerful skills. I never expected to haul such a big pile in Africa. Kelsey feels very lonely here. She started crying after saying a few words. If you're really so lonely, just quit the competition and go home. She watched here for a while. Then they began to return to the shelter. On her way back, but a pleasant surprise appeared. A huge African tortoise appeared here. This turtle weighs about several dozen pounds. It's enough for Kelsey to eat for a week. She lay on the ground and asked the turtle if it could give her a bite of meat to eat. But the turtle remained silent all the time. She felt as if she were in a zoo at this moment. Kelsey faced the turtle in front of him. I didn't choose to eat it. I really can't understand the behavior of the contestants. So what other surprises will they bring us next? Look forward to the update of the next video episode. He caught a giant catfish with just one scorpion. This is already his 3rd success. Who would have thought that one could enjoy sumptuous feasts in the African desert? This is the most difficult season of living alone in the wilderness that I have ever seen. It's the 21st day. There are still 3 players left on the field. Kelsey was trying to fish on the shore. She still has a small amount of dried pork left now. A pig eats for 20 days. Kelsey is very likely to become the champion of this season. She will take a few days off next to regain her strength. Hunting in Africa is a difficult thing. Before coming here, I thought it would be very easy, but in fact, it's not like that. The animals here are the most vigilant. I drink 2 pots of water here every day. Kelsey didn't know that he was the only player hunting large prey. She plans to live for 8 weeks. The best thing is to win the championship to prove oneself. There has never been a female champion in solitary living in the wilderness. If Kelsey wins the season championship, it is bound to attract more female players to participate in the next season. The temperature began to drop in the evening. Kelsey put on his coat and started working again. She is picking some branches here. It is planned to be used to make traps for fishing. She made fishing traps with fishing lines in the shelter. But I have no idea exactly what kind of trap to make. She was talking to herself in the shelter, talking about some unimportant things. Kelsey made something with fishing line and twigs. What exactly is this thing for? She didn't say. Does anyone know what this tool is for? It looks more like a decoration. It's the 22nd day. Katie wants to go hunting today, but she needs to have something to eat before going. In the iron pot is her breakfast for today. Some fish bones that have been cooked 10 times. There are still some tree leaves, although there is no protein. But these breakfasts are also rare foods for her, as long as it can sustain life. She will always stay here. The probability of a female champion emerging in the 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness is very high. There are still 2 female players and 1 male player left on the field. After having breakfast, Katie went out with a bow and arrow. The most common thing she saw here was the water antelope, but they are usually halfway up the mountain, so it was very difficult for her to approach her prey. She came quite early today, decided to wait for the water antelope here. The wind direction today won't affect her hunting either, but there was no harvest until after 12 o'clock at noon. She is here except basking in the sun. Saw nothing. Katie was hunting. A group of monkeys came to her shelter to cause damage. Katie is likely to go crazy when she comes back and sees it next time. Kelsey also heard the howls of baboons in the distance from the shelter. She guessed that something must have happened. The baboon is just halfway up the mountain. Kelsey immediately took out the camera to record. She saw about 20 baboons here. Why did this group of baboons suddenly come down the mountain? They were all coming towards Kelsey. Kelsey was worried that this group of baboons would throw stones at her. More importantly, no bow or arrow was brought out. There are more and more places where baboons gather. There are about 30 or 40 of them. She dared not look anymore. Leave here quickly to prevent the baboons from developing lustful intentions. She sat on a stone, enjoying the view. Suddenly, I saw something in the distance. It turned out to be a rhinoceros. Rhinos are extremely destructive animals in Africa. She also saw a big one and a small one. Kelsey felt that being with them also made him very powerful. These rhinos made her very excited. I'd rather waste time here, nor do I go fishing or hunting. She doesn't know if the baboons will destroy her shelter. After returning, I saw that it was still normal. Kelsey came to the shore to prepare for fishing. She picked up a bug. This can be used as fishing bait. I just don't know if I can catch any fish. Kelsey was very disappointed with fishing. I've been here for such a long time. Only 2 fish have been caught. If you bring a fishing net over, catching fish is definitely much easier than fishing. She was swinging her fishing rod here nonstop. Try to attract big fish in the water to bite the hook by using floating beetles. This method is very ineffective. It would be better to dig earthworms for fishing. Sure enough, she didn't catch any fish this time. After Katie came back from hunting, I saw many footprints of baboons on the ground. She guessed that baboons had been here before. Katie's hat has been taken away by a baboon. To prevent baboons from stealing again, she covered the door of the shelter with a tarpaulin and pressed the gap of the tarpaulin with a stone. After tidying it up, Katie continued to go out hunting. She collected some green plants under the tree roots. These plants are her dinner. There is no meat to eat. I can only eat grass every day. There are still many cereal plants here. This is a very good carbohydrate. Katie is collecting them here. This should be enough for today's dinner. She continues to explore here. I want to find more edible things. She also dug up some onions. This can be used as a seasoning. In the evening, Katie was cooking a vegetable feast in the shelter. In previous seasons, if the contestants only ate vegetarian food, it was of no use. But survive in Africa this season. If you can't even find vegetarian dishes, it's useless. She baked the grains she had collected today, then grind the stone into powder. These powders are very much like flour. Then add some water to the pot. Let these grains soak overnight. It tastes even better tomorrow morning. Today's dinner is stewed wild vegetables. You can also have a full meal by having soup first and then vegetables. It's the 23rd day. Nathan woke up early in the morning. He has been fishing for several hours and successfully caught a giant catfish. Nathan was the only male player on the field, but he has already caught 3 such giant catfish. And there's also a small catfish. Nathan is the strongest sprinter for the championship. As long as there is meat to eat, the greater the chance of winning the championship. Both of these catfish today were caught by him with scorpions. Perhaps catfish in Africa are very fond of eating scorpions. Nathan has gradually figured out the tricks of fishing. He began to process the catfish meat. He plans to use these internal organs to continue fishing. A piece of catfish meat is enough for him to have a big meal. The stone shelter has not been completed yet. Building a shelter is very exhausting. Nathan cooked a big pot of fish. Whenever there is food to eat, one's mood will always feel great. Only when cooking food, I won't miss my family or be depressed. Nathan was enjoying a fish feast in front of the shelter. Can you stand having a stewed meat feast so early in the morning? It was known by Kelsey and Katie. It's estimated that he would offer himself for a bite of meat. Nathan is very confident of going for the championship this season. As long as there is enough food, he will be able to hold on until the end. I had a very full breakfast today. The remaining fish will be saved for lunch. After having his fill, Nathan continued to build the shelter. Can this stone shelter really be built? Kelsey washed his hair early in the morning. I washed my hair for the first time in 23 days. Kelsey felt like a great beauty after washing her hair. She also wore a high ponytail. It's just like your wife. Fishing has no effect. Kelsey began to try hunting again. Hunting can also waste a lot of time. Once successful, you can eat meat every day. Kelsey saw a Jewish pig in the distance here. This is a familiar prey to her. A pig was strolling right in front of me. Kelsey approached slowly. If we could hunt a Jewish pig again, then Kelsey is Nathan's biggest rival. She crouched behind the haystack, looking for an opportunity. slowly load the bow and arrow. Could it be that Kelsey's chance is coming this time? She slowly approached and drew her bow to shoot. It's a pity that she shot very low. Hunger left her too weak to draw the bow. Kelsey felt very disappointed. She doesn't plan to continue hunting. I feel that my hunting is very immoral. Why don't I have this feeling when eating meat? She sat on the stone, reviewing the hunting process she had just gone through. While talking, she began to cry again. What's the use of saying so much here? It would be better to just go fishing. Katie has been improving her shelter. Smear mud on the shelter. By the afternoon, she began to go hunting again. She saw animal droppings on the ground. 2 Jewish pigs are nearby. She approached the wild boar and left. There was no chance of hunting at all. These pigs look very honest. In fact, they're very shrewd behind the scenes. Katie is here waiting for the pig. Although no hunt was made, but it was exciting enough to see the prey. Just like a fisherman, it doesn't matter whether you catch fish or not. The important thing is that the float can keep moving. It seems that Katie has never been able to hunt for food, nor did I catch any fish. Could it be that she has been relying on a vegetarian diet all along until now? In the evening, she didn't have wild vegetable soup tonight. Instead, they eat grass roots. These grass roots are rather sweet. I wouldn't eat like this unless I was extremely hungry. Just bite the cooked grass roots directly. It contains only a tiny amount of starch, but seeing her eating so well, I went to sleep after having a full meal. It's the 24th day. Nathan is doing the most comfortable life now. I can have a pot of meat for breakfast every day. Do you really think of nothing after having a full meal? Nathan just wants to complete this shelter as soon as possible now. If this shelter can be built well, then Nathan will be able to enjoy a sumptuous feast in Africa. Carrying stones is extremely physically demanding. I wouldn't dare to do this if I didn't catch any fish. The stone shelter soon reached the height of a person. I spent the whole day building a shelter today. At this rate, it should be completed by tomorrow, at a time when no accident should have occurred. Something unexpected happened. One wall suddenly collapsed. The shelter collapsed like dominoes. Nathan felt like dying when he saw this scene. It can be set up very soon. All my previous efforts were wasted in an instant. The stone shelter built by Nathan is simply beyond repair. The weakness of this shelter is too obvious, but it's still better than being buried while asleep at night. Nathan watched how the collapsed shelter could be remedied. It would be a waste to discard it. If I move in, I'm afraid it will continue to collapse. Nathan decided to give up this shelter, but seeing that the shelter I had worked so hard for so long was no longer usable, it's really a pity. Nathan decided to check the fish hook. As a result, misfortunes never come singly. The hooks of both fishing rods are stuck to the bottom. Nathan decided to go into the water to look for the fish hook. The water here is not very deep. However, the visibility is relatively low. Fortunately, Nathan found the fish hook back. It's a pity that I didn't catch any fish. What other surprises will the contestants bring us next? Look forward to the update of the next video episode. The first permanent shelter in the history of wilderness living alone is about to be born, but it collapsed at the critical moment. If reconstruction continues, there will still be a risk of collapse. But for the $500,000 bonus, he decided to take a desperate gamble and use termite nests as mixtures. A solid stone shelter was successfully built. Welcome to like and subscribe to continue watching more wonderful videos. It's the 24th day. There are still 3 players left on the field. Kelsey felt extremely conflicted early in the morning. She didn't know whether it was hunting or fishing, but she knew that she no longer had the strength to draw the bow now. She went out with a hat on. Hunting has no strength. Fishing seems useless, so she did nothing, just taking a walk nearby. I don't think any normal person would do such a thing. Kelsey saw a water antelope here, but she had no way to hunt. Even more surprisingly, she saw a group of wild boars again. If you bring a bow and arrow, perhaps you'll have meat to eat. Just as she was regretting, another deer appeared. What I regret even more is that I can only watch. Kelsey was so hungry that his stomach hurt when he saw these prey. She decided to change her hunting plan. Fishing remains the main source of food. These maggots are very good baits. Each one is plump and juicy. Kelsey strung the maggots onto the fish hook. The number of baits is not large. There weren't many fishing opportunities left for her either. She set up 2 fishing rods here to go fishing. From now on, I'll just leave it to fate. Katie is wasting time in the shelter. She feels that the temperature today is very low. Only she and Kelsey were left as female players on the field, although the number of people is dominant. But both female contestants were already starving. I guess the chances of female players winning this season are only 30%. It is winter in Africa now. The temperature at night is close to 0 degrees. The 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness is very interesting. None of the contestants brought sleeping bags, so they can only wear clothes to keep warm at night. Katie guessed that she would only rely on plants to survive for 50 days. But this will keep one in a state of hunger all the time. Every day when I wake up, I feel hungry and tired. The days in Africa are very long. Sometimes it feels like each day is an eternity. These contestants would rather go hungry than spend time fishing. She went out aimlessly with a bow and arrow in her hand. I want to find some mussels on the shore to eat. This kind of stone is everywhere here. Always keep an eye on your feet when walking. I always come out hunting in the afternoon. At this time, the prey usually hides. Perhaps this is the reason why Katie has never come across any prey. If it were me, then spend all your time fishing. She kept walking along the river. I want to try to find prey to drink water on the shore. But the road here is not easy to walk on. Katie slipped to the ground by accident. One hand was hit with thorns. Just looking at it makes my kidneys hurt. Fortunately, both of my kidneys are fine. Katie continued to explore forward. It's been 2 hours since we walked. She gained nothing at all. Is it really worth wasting energy like this? Katie walked along the shore all the way. This journey is very long, but it seemed that the end of the water source was not seen. There are several reliable sources of water. Katie wasn't going to walk any further. It's the 25th day. Nathan woke up early in the morning. When at home, every day when he wakes up, he just drinks coffee. But in the African wilderness, one can only go hungry. Today, Nathan continued to improve the shelter. This is a big project. Nathan considered that when restoring the shelter, it will also cause collapses in other locations. But for the $500,000 bonus, he must repair the shelter. A perfect shelter can create a familiar sleeping environment for the contestants. Only by having a good rest can one be in a good state. Nathan began to tidy up the missing corners of the shelter bit by bit. Fortunately, no new collapse accidents were caused. He drew on the experience of his first failure. Restore the shelter slowly. It wasn't long before the shelter returned to its original state. This shelter will be completed soon. It took Nathan the whole day. Next, Nathan plans to build a roof for the shelter. This must take into account the light weighting of the roof. Nathan chose a dry piece of wood, but the wood is too long to be suitable for transportation. Cutting down trees is very physically exhausting, so Nathan decided to burn it to pieces. This method saves physical strength, but it takes the longest time. The work of improving the roof of the shelter can only be left for tomorrow. It's the 26th day. Today's plan is to build the roof of the shelter. This piece of wood is the beam of the shelter. He didn't know if he could move this piece of wood. Wood is solid. It should weigh over 100 pounds. Nathan placed the wood on the roof of the shelter. The pillars of the roof have been completed. Next, he plans to complete the roof structure of the shelter with branches and clay. He spread branches on the roof of the shelter to make a frame. In fact, it can be used directly by laying a tarpaulin. But Nathan's demands were far higher than I had imagined. It looks really detailed. Kelsey didn't catch any fish here. The maggot bait on the fish hook is still there. Why are the fish here so picky about food? Don't even touch unfamiliar baits. Kelsey tried many kinds of bait fishing, but it has never succeeded. If you can't go fishing, you'll have to look for food. Kelsey saw some beans on the thorn tree. She wants to pick these beans to eat. These beans must be poisonous, right? This season, one player was poisoned after eating beans from the silk tree and cactus. Kelsey ate these beans raw directly. She was really starving. These beans are very small. I didn't feel anything after eating it. She is here daydreaming about food. It's just daydreaming. Perhaps I was too hungry. This kind of daydream keeps popping up in my mind. It's just such a short minute. She has already fantasized about eating a ton of food. Judging from her appearance, she seems to be very satisfied with her meal. Kelsey continued fishing with the fish tank in hand. She once fished several fish here. Now I'm back here to try again, but I haven't started fishing yet. The fishing rod was broken. When a person has bad luck, even drinking water can cause them to choke to death. She had to give up her fishing plan. Nathan began the final steps to perfect the roof of the shelter. He wants to make a composite material by mixing termite nests with water and mud, then cover it on the roof of the shelter. This amount of work sounds very simple. In fact, it's very large. There are many ant saliva on the termite nest. This saliva is not only sticky, but also can release water. Nathan collected many termite nests, then mixed the water and silt together and stir. The mixture made in this way is very sticky. Spread the clay evenly on the hay. This stone shelter built by Nathan. It is the first place in the history of solitary living in the wilderness. It is also a true and permanent sanctuary. There are still 3 players left on the field now. Nathan's advantage is the most obvious. His stone shelter has been completed. In the evening, Nathan made a fire in the shelter, although there is no door yet. However, the heat generated by the fire is reflected among the stones. It was enough to make him feel warm. Now Nathan not only has a warm shelter, catfish can also be caught. The championship of this season is destined to be his. He had been sitting in the shelter, thinking about how to plan next. Nathan is really a person who can never stay idle. If you don't have a late night snack, just go to sleep quickly. It's the 27th day. Kelsey has been practicing yoga since early morning. I've been starving and try to lose weight in the wilderness. Now she is very satisfied with her figure. In her opinion, survival in the wild is the biggest nemesis of losing weight. Because I have never been able to obtain food, going hungry is forced. If you don't want to eat stones, one can also eat thorns. Either it's sheep bones. In this way, you will lose weight soon. She has been here for a month. So I figured out this set of weight loss theories. I'm really impressed by these contestants. Kelsey went out to fetch water with an iron pot in hand. She thought she could no longer hunt. I can't walk fast either. She hasn't eaten fish for 10 consecutive days. Anyway, I even find it difficult to walk now. The reason I have been persisting all along is that I want to take a chance. If all this rain were picked up by her as the champion. So this season, the lucky players have once again defeated the strong ones. This kind of thing often happens in solitary living in the wilderness. Kelsey sat on a stone and talked to himself. I can still stay here now. It was entirely dependent on willpower to persist. Prey can be seen everywhere in the distance. But she was no longer capable of hunting. Every day, it's a waste of time to come out and sit for a while. Such players staying on the field are just to make up the number of players. In wilderness survival shows, I prefer contestants to showcase their survival skills, or how to survive in the wild, rather than starving and talking to oneself. Kelsey guessed that Katie was still on the field. Her competitive spirit keeps her here all the time. Katie has at least one foraging plant. Kelsey, however, only drinks water to stay alive. The thin-skinned male contestant has already withdrawn from the competition. Only the thick-skinned female player was still starving. Kelsey even came up with a book, right about how she survived this solitary life in the wilderness. In summary, it all comes down to one word: hunger. Her skin can't be described as thick. I have never seen such a brazen person. If Kelsey publishes a book, would you buy her book to learn from her experience? She kept sitting on the ground, talking to herself, wasting time. Why don't they know how to dig over stones to find scorpions as bait for fishing? Can one not feel hungry just by sitting? Katie had a dream last night. She thought that in the end, only Kelsey and she would be competing for the championship. You wouldn't even say. Perhaps Katie's dream will really come true. The finals of solitary living in the wilderness often witness reversals. If Nathan is injured by a stone and withdraws from the competition, then it would really be the $500,000 championship that Katie and Kelsey picked up for free. Katie's top priority now is to catch fish. If you always eat vegetarian food, you will really starve yourself to death. After she was thinking about how she would win the championship, how should the $500,000 be spent? It seems to be another daydreamer. She went out to explore with a bow and arrow in hand. There are many bushes here. Katie guessed that there might be animals hiding inside. She tried to walk to a higher place to observe. The wind is very strong here. In fact, drinking northwest wind can also fill you up. It's not necessary to go hunting. Katie has been looking here for a long time, but still hasn't found any prey. Just when she was feeling desperate, but a prey was spotted nearby. This might be her chance to turn the tables against the odds. She is waiting for the hunting opportunity. Then can Kelsey hunt this prey? Look forward to the update of the next video episode. This should be the most perfect refuge for solitary living in the wilderness ever. It is not only sturdy, but also resistant to fire. He also built the strongest stone bed in history. Building a shelter requires energy. It must be balanced with food. So he chose to go fishing at night. He really caught a giant catfish. I stewed a pot of fish head soup. With such strength, it's hard not to win. It's the 27th day. Katie went hunting. A gazelle appeared here, and the distance is relatively close. I thought I could catch this prey this time. At the critical moment, the bow and arrow suddenly dropped. It scared the prey away directly. Katie felt like dying in an instant. This might be the moment when she comes closest to winning the championship. I missed it because of my own mistake. There are no hunting opportunities today. Katie had no choice but to leave here. She was also clearly aware of the opportunity just now. But once missed, it's missed. She has been a vegetarian recently. It seems that Katie didn't catch any catfish. If Katie wins the championship, then there will be the first female champion in history who is a vegetarian living alone in the wilderness. She returned to the shelter and began to review the mistake she had just made. It's really a pity. If Katie could hunt a prey, I'm sure I can hold on until the end of the final round. Sometimes people's luck is just that bad. Winning the championship depends not only on one's strength, it also depends on luck. Nathan is now the most promising player. He built the first permanent shelter of the season. On the morning of the 28th day, Nathan baked some buffalo thorn fruits. He wants to use it to make coffee. I sat by the shore early in the morning to make coffee. Why don't you go hunting when you get up so early? Or isn't it better to catch scorpions or catfish? Why waste time brewing coffee here? Nathan ground the buffalo thorn fruit into powder. A pot of water was also filled on the shore. Just boil it for a few hours and you'll have coffee to drink. After dawn, Nathan began to build a bed. He collected a lot of stones, put all the stones into a pit as a mattress. Then spread another layer of sand. Spread another layer of hay on the sand. Then spread another layer of sand. I've never seen such a way of making a bed before. The breakfast coffee is ready. He is sitting at the door drinking coffee. This shelter is built very beautifully. It is the most perfect shelter built this season. Nathan began to miss his family. He knew there was still a long way to go. Now he's enjoying it here very much. And I also really want to stay here. Katie woke up this morning and said that she had dreamed of eating steak last night, licking one's tongue while speaking. This woman is really hungry. She uses the toilet outside. Katie is already tired of vegetarian food. I really want to get some protein to eat. There are so many stones beneath my feet. You can find scorpions by searching casually. Why couldn't she think of this? Katie is wandering around here. It's simply a waste of time. She sat at the entrance of the shelter, lost in thought. It seemed as if he had completely forgotten that he was here to survive in the wilderness. Is it catching your breath? She doesn't miss her family. Rather, I hope I can keep going. But what's the point of surviving in the wilderness where one only goes hungry? Ultimately, Katie chose to withdraw from the competition. This moment had already been anticipated. Katie was telling her story in front of the camera. She believes that this survival experience is extremely valuable. I have lived here for almost a month. Besides building a shelter, there's almost nothing else to show. It wasn't as she had imagined at the beginning. She really enjoys the feeling of being here alone. But hunger made him uncomfortable. So I had no choice but to leave here. Katie has changed a lot from day one until now. Hunger is not something that ordinary people can endure. With Katie's departure, there are still 2 players left on the field. The real final round is coming. The weather in Africa is getting colder and colder. The water in Kelsey's iron pot has all frozen. It's hard to brush your teeth in the morning. Even if the conditions are tough, she still brushes her teeth every day. Now Kelsey is also on the verge of collapse from hunger. But her mindset is still okay, so I can still hold on for a while. Kelsey goes out to explore every day. In the cold winter environment, Kelsey loves sunbathing very much. She saw 2 antelopes here, but I didn't bring a bow or arrow at all. Even if you carry a bow and arrow, you may not be able to hunt them. Wild animals in Africa are very vigilant. Kelsey is in a very negative state now. She has given up hunting. I persist here every day. I just want to take a chance to pick up a season's championship. If the championship is really picked up by Kelsey for nothing, then it will surely cause dissatisfaction among many viewers. Kelsey saw many baboons here. These baboons are quite far from her. Kelsey is standing here basking in the sun. Since you are so hungry, why not go fishing and eat? It's the 30th day. Nathan came to check the fishing rod early in the morning, but gained nothing. He hasn't caught a catfish for a long time either. Nathan guessed that it might be due to the colder weather, even though it's hard to fish now. But fishing is still one of his main sources of food. Nathan devoted a great deal of energy to building the shelter. He has to balance himself through food. If you can't find meat, look for plants. Nathan came outside to dig cacti. This is exactly what we want to see. At the very least, the contestants are making efforts to find food, rather than wasting time talking to oneself in front of the camera. Nathan is roasting cacti in the shelter. Seeing this scene, I was worried about him. This season, there were already players who withdrew from the competition because they ate roasted cactus. I hope he won't be poisoned. If Nathan really withdraws from the competition because he ate cactus, then Kelsey really got a championship for nothing. The cactus was soon baked. I don't know if it's familiar or not. Nathan put it back into the iron pot to cook again. Could this be the way to handle and consume cactus? Nathan is tasting cacti at the entrance of the shelter. The taste is the same as what he ate when he was a child. It's the 32nd day. He drinks a pot of coffee every day when he gets up. This has become his habit. He doesn't know how long it will take to end this game. I haven't caught any fish recently. It made him feel very anxious. Nathan knew that only with enough food could he survive here. He is the player who has caught the most catfish. 3 large catfish weighing over 10 pounds each. But why wouldn't he go and eat scorpions? After all, I'd found a lot of scorpions for fishing before. Eating some scorpion meat can also help maintain a positive mindset. Nathan was talking about his family in front of the shelter. As she was talking, she began to cry. The most taboo thing when participating in wilderness living alone is missing family. Almost 90% of the contestants withdrew from the competition because they missed their families. If Nathan really withdraws from the competition, I guess I'm going to bleed. In the evening, Nathan continued to try fishing on the shore. Evening is the best time to catch catfish. But fishing is not that simple. He waited for a long time, but got nothing. It's a little past 9 p.m. Nathan heard the sound of water. He went over to check the fish hook. As expected, I caught another catfish weighing over 10 pounds. This catfish is very large in size. It should be the largest one he has caught so far. This fish gave Nathan hope. It's very likely that he won the championship with this fish. A fish can be eaten for 5 days. It's the 33rd day. Kelsey still wastes time taking a walk here every day. She went out without even taking a bow and arrow. This means that she has no possibility of hunting at all. When tired from walking, go back to the shelter to rest. Such a player is really beyond words. I'm starving to death now, and it wastes time every day. If there is no plan to get food, then could you just withdraw from the competition right away? What's the point of staying here every day to lose weight? When hungry, just bask in the sun outside. This is the only way she replenishes her energy. Apart from going out for a walk in one day, it's just talking to oneself in front of the camera. Such a player is really too weak. Her shelter is still a temporary one. a few wooden sticks, and a waterproof cloth. Such a player really doesn't deserve to be the champion of living alone in the wilderness. Finally, she figured it out. Kelsey officially chose to withdraw from the competition. This is the most correct thing she should do. There's no need to go hungry here. She told the program team that she had fainted from hunger. As she was talking, she began to cry again. Perhaps it's because I feel very wronged. The highlight of Kelsey's game was hunting the yopig on the first day of the game. On other days, I've been just lying flat. At the very least, she could still eat a pig. It's not in vain to have been here for so long, since I don't even have the strength to hunt myself. It's also a good thing to withdraw from the competition early. With Kelsey's withdrawal from the competition, it means that the female champion of solitary living in the wilderness has been completely shattered. It also means that Nathan is about to become the champion of this season. It's the 34th day. Nathan now has plenty of food. He's enjoying himself the most now. Nathan's daughter said something when he came out of the closet. His daughter only needs him to do one thing for her. That is to write down the words, "no regrets." So Nathan named this shelter Wu Hui as well. It's hard for me to imagine a tough guy like Nathan. I actually chose to come out of the closet. He no longer worries about food now. The giant catfish heads caught should not be wasted either. An iron pot can't hold it. The production team is here again. They are here to give Nathan a physical examination. Any contestant who has watched this program knows. The physical examination by the program team means that he is the champion. Nathan's son also came here quietly. The program team asked him about his situation here. Nathan said he had eaten a lot of meat here. This sneaky brat is Nathan's son. He secretly wanted to surprise Nathan behind his back. The one who came to celebrate was not Nathan's daughter. This took me a little by surprise. Finally, his son's appearance made him burst into tears instantly. The two wild guys hugged each other and laughed excitedly. This should also be the first such player in the history of living alone in the wilderness. Nathan knew he was the champion. He joined Nathan's shelter. It feels okay. Nathan asked him if he wanted to eat a catfish head. It's the first time I've seen my family have a meal together. Nathan was also the first contestant to eat the head of a catfish. This fish head is very big. The fish head is rich in meat and fat. It is what wilderness solo players most hope for. We only had a big meal at the end. This fish feast is probably Nathan's happiest. After all, once you finish eating, you can go home. More importantly, there's a $500,000 bonus. Nathan has built the best shelter of the season, although it ended in just a few days. But Nathan deserves the championship title of this season. That's all for the 12th season of Living Alone in the Wilderness. Welcome to like and follow my channel. Watch more of the latest videos on survival in the wild.